Good afternoon to you and welcome to NTV at One. My name is Edmond Nyabola. These are some of the stories making headlines at this hour. Several people have been injured in clashes that rocked the official launch of the Malumaluas movement in Kapenguria Township in West Pokot County. The event turned chaotic after supporters of the area governor John Lonyangapuo tried to disrupt it.
Leaders and supporters of the Mulmuluas movement, led by Dennis Ruto, famously known as Mulmuluas, were in Kapenguria town to launch the movement. However, the launch quickly turned into a battleground. Supporters of the area governor John Lonyangapuo could not stomach Mulmuluas activities and decided to disrupt the event. The youth descended on followers of the new movement. This forced Mulmuluas members to run for their lives. The youth allied to Lonyangapuo took away the Mulmuluas public address system, tents and chairs, forcing Mulmuluas and his supporters to relocate to Jacaranda area near Makutano police stage to address his supporters. This comes a few weeks after Governor Lonyangapuo criticized Dennis Ruto and famously described him as Mulmuluas, a description that Dennis Ruto termed as a lie. He, however, embraced the name politically.
Kijana fumpi amenona round, huwezi jua tumbo ni wapi, mkongo ni wapi.
At first I almost felt bad because actually that is body shaming. It's not right. That is criminal. But anyway, at the end of the day, I laughed it off.
The two have been engaged in supremacy battles as Mulmuluas accuses Lonyangapuo's administration of abetting corruption and misuse of public funds. Later, the movement managed to hold its meeting after securing a safer venue. Vincent Oduor, NTV.
Kijana mfupi amenona round taking advantage of the jibe. Now, Asbel Kiprop, who is a former Olympic and World 1500 meters champion, has been banned for 4 years by the IAAF Disciplinary Tribunal. Kiprop, who is the Beijing 2008 Olympics 1500 meters champion, was tentatively suspended by the IAAF Athletics Integrity Unit in May of last year after having tested positive to blood-boosting EPO in an out-of-competition test in E10 in November 2017. Kiprop's ban has been backdated from February 2018, which means he will be eligible to run in February of 2022. Kiprop has steadfastly maintained his innocence and, through his lawyer Katwa Kigen, had put up a vigorous appeal at the IAAF Disciplinary Tribunal. His last stage of appeal is at the Court of Arbitration for Sports, that is CAS. Now, ODM leader Raila Odinga is asking President Uhuru Kenyatta to remain steadfast in the fight against corruption and warned that those found culpable should be arrested and charged. Odinga has also defended the ongoing Huduma number registration, saying it should be compulsory. The ODM leader is speaking during the stopover in Ahero town and is currently attending the funeral service in Nyakach sub-county in Kisumu in the company of the Deputy Governor of the county, Matthew Owili. Let's take a listen.
And confessing them to your glory. For I pray in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Bishop, for talking to us. I have consulted widely and I want to do exactly what I should do. And now, some, with due respect, I will call upon the family members to come forward and say 1, 2, 3, 4, and thereafter I will leave the mic to the MCA of the area. Please, family members. With a word, Kidok Nairobi and Pokaberu Vijaduong, Ikone no para. Ikone no para. I'm watching it. I just want all the sons and the daughters to pay tribute to their dad. Please, come forward. Yeah, you all come. This is your dad. I cannot say somebody to speak for you. No, yes, we have a line. Right, just make the line up.
ODM leader Raila Odinga in Ahero there speaking during the funeral ceremony that is attended. We'll have more details of what he will say there, of course, regarding the ongoing war on corruption as well in a subsequent bulletins. That's NTV Jioni and NTV Weekend Edition at 9 p.m. Jonathan Toroitich Moi is dead. The cause of the death of the son of the second president of the Republic of Kenya, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, is still unclear. The family, through spokesman Lee Njiru, has promised to give a detailed statement on the death of the former rally driver turned politician. For now, they have asked for privacy during this mourning period. Jonathan Toroitich will be remembered as a rally driver whose exploits on the racing tracks, especially during the Easter Safari Rally events, will remain to be celebrated by rally enthusiasts. He ventured into politics in 2002 when he ran for the parliamentary seat in Eldoret Maravin constituency. He succeeded and served for one term. Now, NTV's Sean Kadovilis is at the Lee Funeral Home here in Nairobi, where some family members of the late Jonathan Toroitich Arap Moi have been. Sean, JT, as he was fondly known in sports circles, was also a rally driver, and I know it must inform your keen monitoring of this matter. What's happening there?
Yes, a very good afternoon to you from the Lee Funeral Home. I couldn't quite hear what you said, Edmond, but what I can tell you is that information is very scanty at the moment. The family are tightly controlling any information.
We do apologize for that signal loss. Sean Kadovilis is at the Lee Funeral Home where the body of the late Jonathan Toroitich Moi has been taken. He died on Friday, according to the family press. They're saying that they will give more details. We have Sean Kadovilis again.
Yes, a very good afternoon to you from the Lee Funeral Home. We understand that he passed away last night. The information coming from the family is very scanty at the moment. All we know at the moment is that he passed away after a long illness, and at the moment we understand one or two family members came here about an hour and a half ago or so. But the main members of the family, so to speak, have not arrived at the moment. The body is in Lee Funeral Home. That has been confirmed by staff that work here. So his body is here. As you mentioned, of course, he was a very famous rally driver, in fact, winning the 1997 Kenya National Rally Championship. And he was very famous for driving the Toyota Celica GT4. You may see photos of that car. If you Google, you'll see several photos of that. Very famous, of course, not only for rallying in the Kenya National Rally Championship, where he won a number of rallies, including the Equator Rally, which is now the Eldoret Rally, used to be known as the Equator Rally back in the day, but also the Safari Rally, where he was very frequently one of the top privateers when the Safari Rally was still part of the WRC right up until 2002. His longtime navigator was Ibrahim Choge, a very famous combination back in the days of Patrick Njuri, you may remember. And then also with Emmanuel Kato from across the border in Uganda as well. Very, very close friends. He did spend much of his time in Eldoret. He was based in Eldoret for a long, long time. But I understand that as he got ill, he did, as I mentioned, pass away from a long illness. He did spend much of his time right next door here. And in fact, we're hearing that a lot of the members, very close members of the First Family, the former First Family, it has to be said, were actually based in Nairobi now as he became, of course, ill. So very, very sad. At the moment, only really the press release initially from the secretary to the former president, Lee Njiru, and then, of course, from his younger brother, Gideon Moi, that quite emotional, it has to be said, statement. And, of course, we'll await any more details right here. But it's back to the studio from the Lee Funeral Homes.
Thank you, Sean Kadovilis. Now we have had reactions on the death of Jonathan Toroitich Moi, and President Uhuru Kenyatta has described him as a dependable, humble, kind, generous and courageous person whose word was his bond. In his condolence message to the Moi family, President Kenyatta, who describes Jonathan Moi as a friend and a brother, says he received the news with shock and disbelief. Former President Mwai Kibaki in his condolence message, says he is saddened by the news of the death of Jonathan Moi and has described him as a self-effacing private person who will be remembered for his breakthroughs in the motorsporting, farming and business. Now let's go live to Bridget Ngana, who is in Ravine, the home of the late Jonathan Moi this hour. Bridget, what is the reaction from the family?
Well, Nyabola, we have arrived a while back here at the Moi home of the late Jonathan Moi. We do understand that he was here about a month ago and he had spent some time here at his home before going to Nakuru, where we do understand there's probability that he was hospitalized there. Here at his home, we have seen that they've already set up tents, seating areas just to prepare with for the mourners to come in. We did have some difficulty because accessing the home inside the compound was rather a challenge. Security in therein has said that this is more of a private moment. We have seen also statements from the Senator of Baringo, Gideon Moi, saying that they should be allowed to mourn their brother in peace and in private. And also we do understand that Jonathan Moi was more of a reserved person here in Kabi Moi. He did a lot of farming, and so here is his farmland, and he was more or less known to be somebody who rather socialized with the locals. We do expect to go to the center, which is about less than 100 meters from here. The main entrance is there, and also the personnel within the home are busy working. There is an expectation that in the course of the day, the people, or relatives rather, will be coming in to condole with those who have been here. And we do understand that Jonathan Moi was the first of the 5 sons of the retired President Daniel Moi, and so there is a lot of shock, rather, even from the staff about the news of his demise, rather. And so we are going to speak with the locals once we are done with this, and also just to understand how he related with them, if at all maybe they had any signs of maybe him being ill, because they're still not, they haven't really understood what really caused his death. We do understand that he died in Nakuru last night, and his body has been on transit to the Lee Funeral Home in Nairobi, but we'll be keeping you posted on what really is going on. But here at the home, it's quiet, it's dull, there's a sense of shock, and we do expect that the family here, or those who have been working here at the Kabi Moi farm, will be coming in, or there will be relatives or other people coming to mourn the demise of Jonathan Moi. Edmond.
Thank you so much, Bridget Ngana, live from Ravine, the home of the late Jonathan Toroitich Moi. May his soul rest in peace. Away from that, Mwingi residents have taken over 34 camels to the QSO Deputy Commissioner's office, complaining of destruction of their farms and the forest by the animals. The residents also claim that the camels have been using their water points, adding that sesiflies brought by the camels are harmful to cows, goats and human beings. Insecurity cases have been on the rise, and the residents have been fleeing from their homes for fear of attacks. The residents want both levels of government to come up with lasting solutions to address the situation.
Hamu kwamba wamekuja kwa sababu kuna shida ya ukame karibu Kenya nzima, lakini imekuwa na matatizo kwa sababu watu wetu wa hapa Kiuso ni wakulima na hakuna ardhi kubwa ya kuruhusu uwekaji wa mifugo kama vile ngamia kwa kiwango kikubwa kama vile kimeingia. So kwa sababu hii kumetokea matatizo ya kutoelewana baina ya hawa wafugaji wetu wa Kiuso na hao wenzetu wa Somalia ambao wamekuja na ngamia.
Now, thousands of holiday makers from all parts of the country made their way to the coastal beaches to celebrate the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Most hotels at the coast have reported an 80 to 100% occupancy, with most of the tourists being local, despite the harsh economic times. NTV's Helen Wanjohi has more details.
Hotels at the coast have recorded improved bookings thanks to the long Easter holiday that began on Good Friday. Perfect weather conditions saw locals and tourists flock Pirates Beach in Mombasa, swimming and relaxing.
This is my first time. Nimeenjoy, nimefurahia. Natamani kurudi tena sana. Hata sitamani kutoka yani in fact.
Others engaged in recreational activities such as camel riding, not forgetting the main reason of the season.
Can we go back to God? We are praying for the rains for this land. We are enjoying life here in Mombasa. We are happy to have a peaceful country which is Kenya. Peace!
With a high number of people in the area, security has been beefed up in many parts to ensure local and international tourists are safe during this Easter holiday.
This place normally receives thousands and thousands of visitors, not less than 50,000, specifically on Saturday, Sunday. And we welcome them, and we are telling them that we are beefed up security, and the role of the government is to maintain law and order in this place.
Elsewhere in Baringo, locals dance the night away in entertainment joints in the spirit of ushering in the Easter mood. Kabarnet town was the epicenter of Easter celebrations as the locals watched and danced to live performances of their favorite artists.
Paka Kabarnet. Kabarnet hapa tumejibamba, tunasikia furaha tu sana. Hii Easter leo imetupeleka tu smooth. Tunaona tu yeye tumesherehekea Easter very well.
Naambia vijana mkuwe strong kwa sababu Yesu alikufa juu ya vijana. Alikufa juu ya watu. Mkuwe strong, msitende vitu wenye haifurahishi Mungu. Mtende vitu wenye inafurahisha Mungu. Ndio tupate mvua, tupate kila kitu ya maana kwa hii dunia.
Holy Saturday, the day after Good Friday, commemorates the day Christ's body lay in the tomb. Helen Wanjohi, NTV.
Now, Kenyans have been asked to be mindful of each other and especially to the less fortunate. Murang'a County First Lady Jane Wairia said the Easter holiday should be one where Christians deny themselves luxuries and help those in need. Speaking in Murang'a County while donating foodstuff to all children's homes in the County First Lady said it was paramount that those not privileged enough get a chance to share and enjoy the celebrations. She is urging people to share the little they have as the needy, require help from able members of the society for them to live normal lives. She noted that the old, orphans, vulnerable children, disabled and other destitute people need help, asking people to give what they have, however small, as it brings joy and happiness to the less privileged.
Murang'a na wale wanajiweza wanaweza pitia kwa wale wasiojiweza na kuwasaidia na chochote wako nacho ndio tusherekee hii Pasaka pamoja.
We'll do more. This is just the beginning. We shall go around this country helping the needy so that we make sure that each and every person in Murang'a feels part and parcel of this able county of Murang'a.
Na tuwasaidishe na vyakula na vitu zingine juu hata wao ni watoto wetu na hawafai kusahaulika.
Now, business at Sirikwa Trading Center in Kuresoi North Sub-County came to a standstill on Friday after irate residents took to the streets to protest the closure of the community water by an organization known as ADC Farm in the area. They accused the management of the farm of instructing their security officers to deny them access to the water. The residents who carried twigs and placards to the farm's premises say they have been left with few options after the rains failed, leading to an acute shortage of water. They are accusing the management of ADC of diverting water to farms instead of allowing them access. Efforts to get a comment from the management of the farm did not bear fruit as the media were denied access to the farm.
Katika eneo la Sirikwa kumekuwa hapo mwanzoni tumekuwa na maji kutoka ambayo imekuwa ikitumiwa na wazazi wetu kutoka jadi. Imefika kiwango ambaye ADC imekuja imefunga sehemu ya maji ikazuia juu. Baada ya kuzuia juu imetumia stima inapiga kuelekeza kwa idara zao za kampuni. Wamezuia wamama wetu kuchota maji.
Tunakunywa maji chafu, typhoid inazidi. Tukifika hospitali hakuna pesa ya hospitali. Tunataka pesa nini maji ya kunywa. Tunakunywa maji ya barini huko na imeisha. Tumekuwa wagonjwa, watoto ni wagonjwa, watoto ni wachafu kabisa.
Niweze kusihi all the management of ADC Farm, my friends. Wananchi wako na haki ya kupata maji. ukifanya comparison ama ukilinganisha maisha na kunyunyuzia maji mimea, tutaona kwamba maisha kwanza ipate maji, ile inabaki sasa ndio tuweze kutumia kunyunyuzia kwa mashamba.
Now, during the 2018 Kenya's national schools examinations, the country was shocked by reports of a high number of pregnant candidates played out in the media. The upsurge in teen pregnancies turning out to be one of the biggest headaches in the education sector. The preliminary reports indicate that the country could be staring at a crisis if the issue of teenage pregnancies is not amicably addressed. It is because of such scenarios that some people have argued for the need to introduce comprehensive sexuality education in schools. However, the church remains adamant that sex education must not be introduced in schools, arguing that providing such information to the youth will be like giving them a license to engage in sexual activity. This quagmire informs our special Sunday feature, Teens with Kids, which will broadcast tomorrow at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in.
Nilipata mimba mwezi wa tisa mwaka uliopita.
Mimi nilikuwa innocent. Boyfriend wangu alikuwa akinipea pesa, ndo akalala na mimi, ndo mimi sikujua kumbe nitapata mimi.
These children are very active.
The need to provide sexuality education for Kenya's youth remains a sensitive subject.
The church is totally opposed to the so-called comprehensive sexuality education.
The moment we come out and face the reality head-on and address it, whether it's through sex education, but it's something which must be addressed.
Allow it to be disseminated in our institutions is very destructive. I could even call it pornographic.
Make sure you join us tomorrow 9 p.m. for that report. Let's now have a look at the day's sports with Warode Kiru.
Of sports, I am Warode Kiru. We start on a sad note, and as we've been reporting in this broadcast, Jonathan Torotich is dead. He was one of the indigenous Kenyan rally drivers who, along with the likes of Patrick Njiru and Phineas Kimathi, made the sport popular with the masses. He started rallying in 1989, and his preferred cars were factory-prepared Toyota cars, navigated mostly by the late Ibrahim Choge and driven mostly a Toyota Celica. Jonathan, who was popularly known as a JT, boasted of a record of 12 rally starts, 4 retirements and 1 victory. According to WRC result statistics, he debuted in the WRC Safari Rally in 1991, and his best year was in 1997 when he finished 5th in the Safari Rally and won the Kenya National Rally Championship. May his soul rest in peace. And Kenya's domestic cup competition, the Sport Pesa Shield, gets into its quarter-final stage this weekend, with teams eyeing a chance to represent the country at the CAF Confederation Cup and also win 2 million shillings in prize money. Saturday fixtures will see SS Assad of Mombasa take on Nairobi's Congo Boys, while Bandari host Western Stima in an all-KPL clash. Sunday will see KCB of the KPL face off against NSL's Bidco United in Machakos, while Bungoma Superstars, which tops the FKF Zone B National Division 1 League and who have already bundled out KPL sides Sofapaka in the round of 32 and AFC Leopards in the round of 16, come face-to-face with the defending champions Kariobangi Sharks.
Weekend Sunday tuna game, tunaomba kushinda.
The Kenya Hockey Union Premier League continues this weekend, with the highlight being a clash between title holders Butali Sugar Warriors and Kenya Police on Saturday at City Park Stadium. The match will be the first encounter between the two sides since the final match of the 2018 season, where Butali edged Police 2-1 to win the league on goal difference, thereby dethroning the former champions. The match will also reunite former Police players Calvin Skanu and Amos Bakbir with their former team after the duo shifted to Butali in the off-season. In the Women's Premier League, champions Telkom could storm to the top of the log with a win over Strathmore University on Sunday. And across the borders, Manchester City will be looking to bounce back from their UEFA Champions League exit with a third game against Tottenham in 12 days when the two sides duel in the early Premier League kickoff at 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. City have won each of their last 3 Premier League games against Tottenham, and the citizens are looking to equal their competition's best run of 4 successive wins versus Spurs. Spurs have only won 1 of their last 8 visits to the Etihad, conceding a whopping 23 goals in this period. At 5 p.m, Bournemouth host Fulham, Huddersfield clash with Watford, Leicester travel to West Ham, and Wolves face Brighton. In the late kickoff at 7:30 p.m. tonight, Newcastle and Southampton will both be aiming for a victory as they look to move away from the relegation battle. On to tennis, and second seed Rafa Nadal was forced to work hard for his 18th straight match win at the Monte Carlo Country Club as he fought back to beat Argentine Guido Pella 7-6, 6-3 in the Monte Carlo Masters quarterfinals. The 11 times champion made a sluggish start and was 1 point away. Boxers Terence Crawford and Amir Khan both made weight ahead of their World Welterweight Championship bout at the Madison Square Garden tonight. American Crawford with a record of But remember, a lot of sporting action in Kenya's premier sports show. That is Top Sport that revs off at 2 p.m. So do keep it NTV. But for now, back to Edmond.
Thank you so much, Warode. Just one more story before we wrap up. Thousands of protesters in Algeria have flocked city streets demanding reforms in government systems these coming days after the resignation of President Abdelaziz Bouteflika. Protesters are also calling for the resignation of Abdelkader Ben Saleh, the head of the upper house of parliament, who was named interim president.
Protesters returned to Algeria's streets with insistent calls for democratic changes following President Abdelaziz Bouteflika's resignation on 2nd April. Parliament named an interim president and set 4th July as the election date in a transition endorsed by Algeria's powerful military. It is reported that Bouteflika's exit failed to satisfy many Algerians who want to disempower the entire elite that has dominated the country since independence. Protesters are also calling for Abdelkader Ben Saleh, head of the upper house of parliament, to quit as caretaker president and for Nourdine Bedoui to stand down as interim prime minister.
We still have only Ben Saleh to remove. All Bouteflika's policy has to go.
We are tired of this gang. They have to leave, and we are fed up with them. They have to leave.
During the protests, an unknown device prompted security to close off an area in downtown Algiers to check a suspected bomb threat, which turned out to be a false alarm.
More tributes to the family of the late Jonathan Toroitich Moi. His brother Gideon Moi, who is the senator for Baringo County, describes him as a selfless family man, amiable, social and down-to-earth and industrious. Nakuru County Governor Lee Kinyanjui describes the late Jonathan Moi as a great sportsman. He was one of Kenya's leading rally drivers and was also a farmer. May his soul rest in peace. That's all we had for you on NTV at 1 at this hour. We will see you again at 7 p.m. on NTV Jioni and on NTV Weekend Edition at 9 p.m. Bye-bye. My name is Edmond Nyabola.